My name is Bob Giesy, and I was camp director here for 10 years. And I came to this camp when Harry Leak was resident manager here. And he was probably the pioneer of getting a lot of things done here, besides volunteers and groups from the churches. But he is the one that was going to take care of the grounds. He's the one that basically started some of the stories that kind of grew out of that era. And so that was before, we're celebrating 60 years now.
That's right.
So what was the beginning? What year?
1957.
50 what?
7.
7, okay. And he was originally a farmer. But he had a calling, he thought, to come here to manage this property. And prior to that, this of course was used for many purposes, but one was Crockett Springs Resort, the old spring resort. And I've had many stories passed on about those days. In fact, somebody came up to me at lunch today. Says, I was a boy here when the hotel was right across the way. And I tried to relate some of the stories back to that, but every time I did, I got in trouble. Because you have to really be exact with some of that kind of thing. And I remember one of the stories. I'm going to tell one on the Grouches here. You may be related to the second story, but you'll remind me. But Crockett Springs, of course, was known for its spring, the healing quality of the spring. Later on, I found out that much of the things around here, there was arsenic in it. Arsenic. But I understood from medical authorities, a little arsenic wouldn't hurt you. A lot of it, yes, but a little bit, no. So I started telling the story that arsenic was mined out of these hills, and of course it got into the water system a little bit, but that's what was the healing quality to it. Well, I would say that around the camp, around the RV campers and the campfires and stuff, and one morning you came over to the house, the brick house over there, woke me up. It was before I was supposed to be getting up. I get up with the sun. And, but usually it's when it's going down on the other side, okay? But anyway, knocked on the door, and I came downstairs, opened up the door, and the person said, "You're trying to kill my family." Wasn't that? Okay, good, I'm glad. Anyway, I said, "What do you mean?" "Well, we just came from the campfire last night, and you said that arsenic was in this water, and you're trying to kill my wife." I don't know if he's trying to set me up or what, but anyway, I said, "No, that's not true." So anyway, that's part of the early beginnings of this area here. And of course, it was all dirt roads and so forth. And these are back in the hollows. A lot of families live back here. And one of the families is where or one of the cabins on the road here, you pass it, coming up to the dining hall. There's a little cabin right beside the road. That's called the Willie cabin. And his family lived in that cabin. This was before things were being built up and so forth. They were a very poor family, but they were a happy family. And it was Willie Jack's mom, his father, 2 older brothers, Will and Tom, and they all lived in that small cabin. Well, times were rough, and Willie Jack was about 9 years old, and his 2 older brothers were going out with Dad, and they would find work here and there. So he thought he was old enough that he wanted to help do that. He didn't want to have to stay around the house. Mom put him in a lot of chores, and he did his chores. but he wanted to be more helpful. So he asked his mom if he could go out like his brothers and his father to earn some money to help the family. Well, there's two stories to that angle. One is about Willie Jack going to seek his fortune. The other one is about Willie Jack's first job. And I'm trying to clear my head while I'm talking to you right now which way to go. And one of them, in fact, I'm not going to go either way. And there's another story that as Willie Jack began to grow up, he had started working for some of the farmers around here. And he had gone down, and Alley's store wasn't yet existed. But they had places along the road that people would buy their supplies. So he heard at one of these, I think, stores up the road here, that one of the wealthy farmers here's daughters had been kidnapped and taken up to the top of the hills here. Well, it was for ransom, to get money from the family. And the farmer was offering a big reward to get his daughter back. And Tom and Will had already tried earlier in the season to get up there and to talk the old mountain man up there out of releasing that daughter. And they had to meet some obligations. They had the old mountain man said, "You can have her back, but you're going to have to pass some tests that I have." And so he, both brothers, Will and Tom, went up there one at a time. And they came back defeated. They could not outsmart that mountain man. And Willie Jack heard his brothers talking about it. And he said to his mom, "I want to go up there and try it. I'd like to be able to get that mountain man to release that daughter, and I can get the reward and help the family out." Well, in both cases, Tom and Will had gone up there after his mom prepared kind of a lunch. You put it on the back of your stick, and you go along the highway, and you hike part of the day, and you got hungry, you just sit down wherever and have your meal. Well, they had that from their mom, and in both cases, when they went up there by themselves, they had halfway up the mountain stopped to eat. And when they did, an old lady came out of the forest, just kind of coming along with a walking stick. And Will and Tom were eating their meal. And the old lady said, "I'm very hungry. Could you share some of that with me?" And Will and his brother, they wouldn't do it. They said, "No, it's only enough for me." And so they send the old lady back into the forest. And they came down the hill, of course, not successful at what they were trying to do. But Willie Jack had the same experience of going up the hill, and his mom had fixed him a lunch. And he had sat down halfway up the hill and started eating when the old lady came out of the forest. And she said, "That looks mighty good. I'd sure like to have something to eat. I'm hungry." And Willie Jack says, "Well, sit down here. I'll share what I have with you." And they got into a conversation, and so she thinking after they finished that lunch and it helped her, and Willie Jack was ready to get back on the trail up to the top of the mountain. And so she said, "Look, you've been very gracious to me. I want to give you a gift." She looked down in her bag that she had, and she pulled out a tiny carved ship. Said, "You take that ship with you as you go up the mountain, because that mountain man up there is very tricky. And that ship will take you up there and get up there quickly. I said, how's that possible? She said, come here. She laid the little boat off to the side, and she said, boat, sail, boat, sail. And the boat started growing and growing and growing. And it was a full-size sailboat. And Willie Jack couldn't believe his eyes. She said, you hop in that boat, it'll take you anywhere you want to go. And Willie Jack said, well, that'll be a big help. I was getting kind of worn out here going up this hill. And so she said, but if you meet some folks along the way, invite them to go with you. Make friends. So Willie Jack got in the boat and he said, sail, boat, sail. Just started floating in the air, heading around, and he started getting the hang of it, steering, heading back up the hill there. And so he was looking down below the trees there, and he saw this guy running back and forth, running right into a tree trunk, just head on. And Willie Jack looked down and said, hey down there, what's your name? He said, Hardy Hardhead. I said, what are you doing, Hardy Hardhead? He said, I'm just running into trees. And so what? He said, well, how about you come up here with me and let's go up to the mountain. We're going to challenge the mountain man for the farmer's daughter. So Hardy Hard said, okay. So he came down and Hardy Hard got in the boat with him. And they started up, going up there again. All of a sudden, they looked down, and there was a fella down at the creek. In fact, it was this creek here, what we call Purgatory Creek. And he was at the beginning of it, drinking the water, straight on. There was no water going by him. And Willie said, look at that guy. He said, what are you doing? He says, I'm drinking water. I said, you're drying the creek up. I said, what is your name? He said, my name is Drinkwell. Well, Drinkwell, how about come on up here? We're going up the top of the mountain, and we're going to challenge the mountain man for the farmer's daughter. And so they went down and picked him up. And they started back up away. Suddenly, they saw another, looked like, they couldn't even see it was going so fast. Finally, whatever it was, settled down, and it was a young man. And Willie Jack said, hey down there, what's your name? What do you think their name was? What?
Runwell.
Runwell, you're right. He knows the story. Anyway, he's the next generation Willie Jack storyteller. And so he says, I can run fast. I mean, I can get over to the other top of that mountain over there before you can get that boat off the ground. And he was gone. And he came back. I said, where you been? Over there on top of that mountain. I've been back already. He said, look, we're going up to the top of the mountain to challenge the mountain man up there. Won't you come with us? He said, okay. So Runwell got into the boat. And they started back up the hill there. And all of a sudden, they saw this fella firing a rifle. And they went down closer, and Willie Jack said, what are you shooting at? You see that squirrel over there on the other side of the mountain on that tree limb there? There's a flea on his ear. And I'm going to shoot that flea off of it. Got him, he said. And Willie Jack said, we could use your help. How about you come on board? We're going up the top of the mountain, and we're going to challenge the mountain man. So he got on board. And Willie Jack said, how in the world could you see that flea on that ear of that squirrel? He said, oh, my friend down there pointed him out to me. And there he was. He had another friend down there. And what do you think his name was? Sewell. Okay? Now, pretty soon I'm going to have y'all tell me the names, all right? But Sewell could see that far away. And so Willie Jack went down and invited him to come on board, and he did. So he was collecting up his friends. And they were just about the top of the mountain. All of a sudden they saw another fella, and he was eating a whole wagon load of watermelons. And Willie Jack says, "What are you doing?" He says, "I'm eating these watermelons. I'm hungry." So he had finished the wagon load of watermelons. He says, "What's your name?" "What's his name?" "Eat well." You know the story then. Okay. Now, so he had all his friends now on board, and they were heading out. And they got up to the top of the mountain, and what did Willie Jack see? But an old cabin. And around the cabin, all the grass was brown. And there was a kind of a picket fence around the yard to kind of mark it off. But even around the trees, they looked like they were dying. They just didn't have any green leaves on them. Well, Willie Jack landed the ship there in front and went up to the door and knocked on the door. And the mountain man came out, said, "What do you want?" Oh, his breath was terrible. Willie Jack realized why the grass was brown. And there was hardly any leaves on the trees out in the front yard. He said, "How long since you've been brushing your teeth?" He said, 48 years. "Oh, okay." He said, "I hadn't come through that fence there, and that's a nice looking fence." He said, "Fine, I'll tell you about that later." And so he said, "We come to challenge you for the farmer's daughter." He said, "That's great. If you can meet my challenges, I'll give you a wagon full of gold, and I'll release the girl to you. And so, but you're going to have to meet my test." So the mountain man came out on the porch. He took off his shoes. And he had toenails so long, and he had clipped them, that they unrolled as the shoe came off. And Willie Jack recognized that's where the fence post came. From his toenails. This guy, anyway. So the mountain man said, "Okay, let's go out here in the yard and you can meet that challenge." The mountain man pulled up a big stump. Said, "You got to do what I do. If you can do it, I'll give you the gold and the girl." So the mountain man got up on the stump, and what he had pulled out behind the stump was what they call a hackle, like a comb, and it had bristles in it. And they were sharp. They were really, but that's what they used to comb the wool of the sheep and so forth. So he said, he laid it there. Now Tom and his other brother had gone through the same test. They had failed it. So the mountain man said, "Do what I do." He got up on the stump, and he jumped and did a somersault and landed his bare feet on that hackle. Got off, it didn't hurt a bit. "Okay, let's see you do it." And Willie Jack said, "Okay, Hardy Hardhead, where are you? Come over here." He said, "Think you do that?" Hardy said, "Yeah." He got up on the stump, made a big somersault, and landed on his head on that hackle. Got off, brushed himself off, didn't hurt a bit. Oh, that made the mountain man very bad. Man. He said, "Well, you got another test you're going to have to pass before I give up that gold and girl." He said, "I've got a whole barn full of beef, cows, and I'm known for my appetite. You're going to have to out-eat me on one of those cows of beef." So they got one each, and Willie Jack said, "Eat well, come here." So Eatwell came over and said, "Do you think you can do it?" No problem. So they were just about to get started, and Eatwell took one of those beef and whoop, gobbled it down, and went over and got the mountain man's cattle and ate it. Made that mountain man so mad. He said, "Now, you got another test you're going to do. Let's go over here to the creek." And the creek divided, went two different ways. He said, "You take one, I'll take one, and let's drink it dry to the waterfalls." And Willie Jack says, "Okay, how about drink well, come here." And he came over and he said, "You good?" "Yeah." So go. And Drinkwell went to one branch. He started just drinking that water, just right down, kept moving up the mountain. Got up close to the waterfowl, and he said, "Man, I'm still thirsty." Went over to the other creek, and the mountain man had just started. He went into that creek and drunk it dry. Well, mountain man was really getting very angry. And he said, "You know, I got one more test. If you can pass this test, you can have the gold and the girl." And so he said, "Here's what you're going to have to do. Saltwater Beach is about 200 miles from here. You need to go run down the mountain, and I'll run too, and whoever gets there first, bring some of that salt water back." And Willie Jack kind of scratched his head. "Now here's what you're going to have to do." He went in the barn and got 2 eggs, or got an egg, cracked it, and gave Willie Jack half the egg. And he took the other half. And you got to bring back a half an eggshell of salt water. That way you prove you went there and got back. Whoever comes here back first wins. So, old mountain man, he took off. He wasn't waiting around. And Willie Jack says, "Run well. Come here. Did you hear the challenge?" "Sure did." "You game?" He said, "Sure." So here's half a shoulder. And he took off down the mountain. Now, Runwell was fast. And he caught up with the mountain man. And the mountain man was knowing that Willie Jack had some special friends. So he, come here, Runwell, come here." And he had some magic powder. And he blew it onto Runwell's face. And all of a sudden, Runwell started falling asleep. He dropped the eggshell. And the mountain man crushed it. Put a stump under Runwell's chin to hold him up against the tree there, like he was sitting there. But he was really asleep. And so the mountain man went on down to the ocean. He got there first and filled up the eggshell. Was heading up. And Willie Jack was thinking, what's happened to Runwell? And he said, "What okay?" And somebody said, "How about Sewell? Bring him over here. Sewell, can you see anything out there?" And it was a mountain over. He said, "I see the whole thing now." The old mountain man had put Runwell asleep, and he put his chin on a stick that makes him look like he's awake, sitting there underneath the tree. What are we going to do about this? That old man will be back before we can get it done. So he said, "Shoot well, come here. Come here. See that our friend over there? He's asleep on that stick, holding him up. You think you could shoot that stick out from underneath his chin?" Sure. He took sharp aim, knocked that stick out from underneath the chin of Runwell, and woke him up. And he looked around, and he realized with a crushed egg there what had happened. And in fact, the mountain man was already in sight coming up the mountain. And so Runwell says, No problem. He headed back up the mountain where he started, told Willie Jack about it. Willie Jack got another egg, broke down, gave him half the shell, gave it back to Runwell, and he took off down the mountain, got to the ocean, filled it up, and headed back and beat the old man to the top of the mountain. The old man was furious. And he says, I'm going to have to honor what I said. So he brought out a big wagon load of gold, and a beautiful farmer's daughter came out of the house. And he gave them to Willie Jack. And Willie Jack and his friends took the gold and the farmer's daughter into the ship, and they sailed back down the mountain. They gave the farmer his daughter. And it happened to be the farmer said, I got another wagon of gold for you. And Willie Jack said, okay. He went back to his mom, their cabin, Willie Jack's cabin, said, Mom, I think we got enough to make the winter. We could get the firewood, buy some food, and help our neighbors too, who were in the same shape. So he divided out all that and then gave the rest of it to his friends. And they said, you have the ship, and you can go anywhere you want to go. But I'm going to stay here and help my mom with the cold winter coming up. So that's the story of Willie Jack and the mountain man. Well, there's many more stories that come from them. And so that's only one. So you can share the story of Willie Jack, and that story can be passed on from one generation to the next, and from one camp to the next. I see a camp director back there of other camps. Have you heard the Willie Jack story in other places? Yeah.
Not under Willie Jack.
But it's something like Willie Jack. Willie Jack is actually a story that came from Europe. Back during the days when, people didn't read, they told oral stories. And each one had a challenge, each one had a hero, and some kind of reward. And so those stories came from Europe in the early days of the settling of this country. And those stories actually ended up in the mountains. And those mountain legends have been passed on from one generation to the next. And Willie Jack happens to be the grandson or great-grandson of some of those original pioneers. And he was a young boy, 9 years old, who always seemed to get into a big adventure. And he would get into a jam, but he would always land on his feet. And his mom had brought him up right. It was a Christian family, and he learned to share. Now his brothers maybe not had learned the lesson well enough, but Willie Jack had. And so those stories began to move around the mountains. And that cabin right down the road here, on the right, that's where Willie Jack and his family lived. Nothing fancy. They weren't wealthy, but they were happy. So, that's Willie Jack and the Mountain Man. I think we're doing it again at
3:30.
3:30. And if you have some ideas of a story, my grandson has an idea of a story. And if he tells me a little bit about it, maybe I can fit it in.